What a beautiful evening to be a part of. Thank you so much, Maria, for inviting me here tonight. It's such a pleasure to be sharing this night with such beautiful minds. And I'm reminded as I listen to Stefan talk about physics and his love of music, just how important tonight is in shining a light on how important arts are in schools and poetry is in finding the line between the wonder of what we know and what we don't know with students. So for anybody who's in school, elementary school, high school, streaming online or here tonight, I hope you're learning something wonderful tonight, as I am very lucky to learn tonight. And the connection between science and music has been something that's always been very fascinating to me. I've always sung lots of songs about scientists and the romance of the unknown in the universe. But I'm going to tell this story because I was emailing with Maria about kind of the night and what this poem meant to me, this beautiful poem by W.H. Auden. And I was lucky enough it reminded me of a character that I was able to play on Broadway. I played Pierre Bezukhov in a musical called Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812, where I got to have kind of thank you for supporting us. It closed, but I had a wonderful time while I was there. And I got to have this existential crisis every night looking up at the Great Comet, and in the story of War and Peace, where this musical was based, it is about the unknown. There was between science and religion and art. It was all open to interpretation. And 2 months after I got the role of Pierre, I took part in a TV show called Who Do You Think You Are, where I got to go on a surprise trip and learn about somebody in my family. I did not know where my brother, who's here tonight, and I were going. They sent me off to Bietigheim, Germany, to learn about my 8 times great-grandfather, Johann Jacob Zimmermann, who was a priest, an astronomer, a mathematician, and he was also a music teacher and a singing instructor in the 1600s. And they took me to the bell tower, where he looked out into the stars himself, and he witnessed the Great Comet of 1680. And he documented it, and his documentation of that great comet was written about by Sir Isaac Newton. Now, he was also a bit of an anarchist in the church. He was a good Lutheran. He followed the rules, but his relationship to the stars, his relationship to the wonder of what he was finding out there and the unknown, caused the church to basically view him as a heretic. He started to fall out with the church. He started to realize that there was corruption and there was the hunger for power, and he felt like the Great Comet was a sign that things were all going to be destroyed in the year of 1693. I don't know how he chose that year, but that's the year that he chose. On his way to America, he died before he could reach America. He died in the year of 1693, strangely. But, yes, a personal cataclysmic event happened in his life. He just didn't know it. He died with an understanding that the relationship to the unknown and his personal relationship to God did not have to be confined by the 4 walls of any kind of organization, and that he was able to live the rest of his days studying the relationship between art and science and God. And as a devout agnostic theist, I think that's an oxymoron, but as a devout agnostic theist, I thought that was pretty cool, and I think he would have really enjoyed this poem that is profound and whimsical and all those wonderful things. It's called After Reading a Child's Guide to Modern Physics. If all a top physicist knows about the truth be true, then for all the so-and-so's futility and grime our common world contains, we have a better time than the greater nebula do, or the atoms in our brains. Marriage is rarely bliss, but surely it would be worse as particles to pelt at thousands of miles per sec about a universe in which a lover's kiss would either not be felt or break the loved one's neck. Though the face at which I stare while shaving it be cruel, for year after year it repels an aging suitor, it has, thank God, sufficient mass to be altogether there, not an indeterminate gruel which is partly somewhere else. Our eyes prefer to suppose that a habitable place has a geocentric view, that architects enclose a quiet Euclidean space. Exploded myths, but who would feel at home astraddle an ever-expanding saddle? The passion of our kind for the process of finding out is a fact one can hardly doubt, but I would rejoice in it more if I knew more clearly what we wanted knowledge for, felt certain still that the mind is free to know or not. It is chosen once, it seems, and whether our concern for magnitude's extremes really becomes a creature who comes in a median size or politicizing nature, be altogether wise, is something we shall learn. Thank you.